What's up, my geeks? Today I'm charging laptops, and I got a few of them right here. A couple of them I haven't used in a while. And the best part about this is I'm charging all of this and these devices too with this little box right here. This is from Anker, and we're going to talk about it next on Geekazine. What's up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek, and you got me today. We're talking charging. We're talking multi-charging. I love multi-chargers, something that can be put in the corner of a desk, be able to charge a whole bunch of things, and you won't have a whole bunch of cables or anything like this mess right here. And of course, this mess here is simply because of the fact that I am testing out this guy right here. So what is this guy? This guy is the Anker 250 watt GaN charger. Full disclosure, Anker did send me product to review, but they did not sponsor this video. All opinions are of Geekazine. I have a full review section over at geekazine.com/review that you can take a look at. If you want me to take a look at your products, go ahead and send it to me. The contact is on geekazine.com. Let's take a look at some of the specs with that. So basically what this is a 250 watt total charge with gallium nitride, otherwise known as a GaN charger. It's about how it's designed inside there with the gallium nitride so it charges devices faster, better. It's got priority charging. You can change any of the ports. You got an app to manage the charging. You can do it right on the unit, but it's also got an app. We got 4 USB-Cs and 2 USB-As that you can charge from. And of course, getting up to a total of 250 watts. Good luck in getting that happening. It's got AI charging in there and other options to do priority charging. And of course, it works on Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So very important right there to make sure that you have 2.4 gigahertz on your Wi-Fi system set up so it will accept this charger. So let's take a look at the charger really quick. There it is right there. As you can see, it's very basic. On the back, we have the power plug. On the front, we have 4 USB-C plugs, and on the side, we have the 2 USB-A plugs. There is a crown button over here, right there, that allows you to change anything. Like, for instance, let's see if I can do this. I'll push this button right here, and now we can go to any of the ports, and we can configure the port from here. Let's go back. Right now, we're doing about around 100 watts on here, which is interesting because I thought I'd have a little bit faster charge on these things. And I'll tell you what I got here for the devices. The first thing that I got is my MacBook Air. Now, in all reality, that was pretty close to 100% charge. So it's doing pretty well. Doesn't need that much power right now. So it's just sitting there doing the little trickle charge as it goes. These next two computers I actually had turned off for a while, so they were at 0 battery. We got the HP Pavilion X2 right here, which is it's a laptop and a tablet, which is really nice. And that was sitting at 0% power, and now we've got it sitting at about, what do we got? 21% charge. So that's awesome. And then over here, that's my old MacBook Pro. That is a 2017 MacBook Pro, Intel MacBook Pro. It says that it's charging at 44%. So now we've got a pretty decent charge here. But this is how it's all set up down here. This first cable is going to that HP Pavilion X2. That's going to be the primary. You want to put the more important plugs in the first 2 ports. I found that it helps charge it faster. Second plug is that MacBook Pro on the far left. And as you can see, the first one, the HP Pavilion X2, is about going around 28 to 30 watts, somewhere around there. We got 48 around 50 watts going to the MacBook Pro. My MacBook Air is at 1.9 watts because, like I said, doesn't need that much charging. And then the fourth item here is actually a Kindle Fire, which is doing 8.5 watts. This was also at 0, and now we're at about 49% here. The other things that I have plugged into this device is an older iPhone, which is now at 91%. It started at about 30%. So, and I've been, that's been plugged in for about 25 minutes now. And then this is an older Litra light, which I still use. It uses the micro USB connector. So I actually had to go find a micro USB connector, but it looks like it's at 100%, because if it was, see, it would be flashing, but I have a feeling it's going to stop flashing in a second because it's at full charge right here. So these are the side ports. And if we take the crown and we dial it this way, we can see that they're at combined 4.5 watts. So they're definitely charging up and going from there. We also have the ability to do all the changes settings on here. But first of all, I want to show you how to create priority with this device. All you have to do is press into the crown and you're going to get the information right here. This is on port priority, which once again, that's going to get the majority of the charge. So if everything's taking up 250 watts, port 1 is going to take the majority of that charge right there. We can turn that on and off, and we can set more than one device to port priority. I think the second one I have that turned off. I thought I had that turned on for port priority. But you can definitely set 2 devices up for port priority or set it up for AI mode. And we can do that through the settings. Let's go back over here. So here's the settings right here, which we can then check on our brightness. Let's bring it down so you can see this a little bit better. It'll flicker, but you'll be able to see it. We got brightness, we got screen timeout, we've got port priority mode, which we have port priority, dual laptop mode, we have low current mode, and then there's AI power mode, which is interesting because what that does is it basically figures out what needs the power the most and puts the priority from there. Knob orientation, this is actually funny because I did change this because I didn't like the way of turning the crown or the knob, however you want to call it. So I have the ability to switch the direction. So now it feels more comfortable. We can set up our Wi-Fi. Once again, it is 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. We can set up a screensaver, and they have a few different screensavers to choose from. This is just basically a flip clock. We have different types of screensavers, and then a couple screensavers that you would get from the app. We'll show you that in a minute here. So we'll leave that at that. We can then hit reset and back, and then of course we're back to brightness here. So let's go back here. We're fluctuating from around 85 to 110. It is rather warm on top. I want to grab my heat gun here and test the heat. We're at 118 degrees. It's warm to the touch, but definitely be well aware of that. I don't see any vents on this thing. Yeah, there's no vents on this thing. So keep this in a cool place and don't put anything on top of it. 116, 118, that seems to be the temperature that it will be at. Now let's take a look at the app itself. So this is the app for the charger right here. And as you can see, we've got all the information that we're seeing on this display right here. We're seeing about somewhere around 28 to 35 watts on the first one. It's got the priority charge. You can see that with the little charge guy right there. The next one is that MacBook Pro. That's at 44.8. Now, normally the charger on this is an older Intel MacBook. So that usually would take more of the 96 watt charger. So if you are charging this from 0, you probably don't want to have anything major running like major software editing and recording. But let's go ahead and open up something. As you can see, it's starting to ramp up the wattage on there. And then this is staying at about 30%. The third one, the MacBook Air, I can definitely call up something like Logic Pro to kind of kick it into gear a little bit. Now we're definitely pushing more towards 100 and the 110, 120. So the more apps that you have open, the more power it's going to take, of course. So we'll definitely need that. We'll just open this one. There we go. All right, so we've got the real-time data down here. It's telling us how this power is being distributed. Underneath here, we've got our quick settings, so we can change that charging mode just like we did in the on the crown in the device. And then, of course, the clock display, so we can see the themes. There was one screensaver that we couldn't see on the device. We had to see it through here. Apparently there's a holiday update, so maybe it'll snow or something like that. I'm guessing there's going to be other screensavers down the line, but we'll see what happens there. So, all right, so that is basically the charger. On the bottom, this is how we get to each individual one. So we're looking at the first USB-C, which is that HP Pavilion, where we can change the port setting and we can put in a power schedule. So that means that we could set this up to start charging, stop charging at certain times to save us on overall power. So we can do that for all 4 of these, and of course the USB-A's, but those are grouped as one. They don't run separate from each other. But for the most part, you can connect this up. In fact, with this app, you can connect up more. Once you have the second one, you hit the power button, and then you do the discovery, set up the Wi-Fi, and then of course this will be part of the whole thing. So it's part of Anker's whole system. So there's other devices that you can get to also allow for power management on there. Let's talk about some pros and cons here. First of all, I love the fact that this is an all-in-one device. I love the fact that this is something that you can set off in the corner. You definitely don't want to put something on top of it, let it breathe and do its job, but you can definitely charge up multiple devices with this guy. I love the fact that you were seeing only like 120 watts at the most. Of course, if you have other devices that take a little bit more power to run, they will definitely start showing up here. But you do not want to get past something like 96 watt devices. If you're putting in something higher power than that actually does run on USB for power, I would highly recommend not doing it. All your laptops, all your mobile devices, simple accessories like this little LED light, those are perfect. And getting this in here, otherwise you have a risk of possibly overheating this thing and getting past the specification. It is rated for Apple products, for Samsung products, and today's mobile devices. If you got a Google Pixel, if you got any phone like that, any tablet like that, you'll be able to plug in from here. Laptops, if the laptop is meant to be charged via USB rather than its own plug, then I highly doubt it. Don't go splicing together cables. It's better just to plug those into the wall. Another thing that I noticed here on this is the power plug is a non-grounded power plug. So it's not a big deal in a lot of these cases because this is doing all the power conditioning right here, which is why it's getting warm. It's nice to have a grounded plug. I like the fact that I can control everything through this little LCD display through this. I'm calling it crown button, but they're calling it just a dial. So I can see everything nice and easy. I can also access it through the app. Now, this is really cool because let's say that I am not at home. In fact, I'll just replicate that. I'll turn off my Wi-Fi, and now I can look at right here. I can see maybe I'm away, maybe I'm on travel. It's like I don't need to keep these things charging, so I can come in and just turn off each individual port. Like for instance, this MacBook Air. I don't need it charging right now, so we'll go over to here and we'll hit the power button. And are you sure you want to turn it off? We'll say yes. And now that is out of the mix. So when I go back here, and now it's not showing anything, so I can come back here and I can hit the button and boom. Now it recognizes that there's something needing to be charged here and allows for that. So, and I'm doing this all off of my network, just through my phone. So if you're away and you say, honey, we forgot to unplug the laptop, not a problem. Boom, done. That is the 250 watt power GaN charger for all of your devices. What do you use to charge your devices? Let me know in the comments below over at Geekazine.com, over at YouTube.com/Geekazine, where you can like, subscribe, comment, bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. And of course, I do get my wings for there. Because it's a bell. Always a bell. Bell gives wings. That's what we've learned growing up. Thank you, George. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. Until next time, you guys geek out and keep your devices charged with the Anker 250 watt GaN charger.